Hello. Thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Jeff Fluker. I'm the director of Naviant's Managed Services team, and I'm excited to talk to you today about a new offering from Naviant in 2024 that we're calling Naviant InsightIQ. Let me start you with a question. What happens when you combine Naviant's process-first approach, our award-winning customer service, and our commitment to implementing best-in-class solutions with a software that's purpose-built to monitor your system, platform, and performance stability of your enterprise content management solution? Well, if you were paying attention 5 seconds ago during my intro screen, you already know the answer to that. It's Naviant InsightIQ. This offering is building off of the partnership that we announced late last year with Reveille, which is a performance monitoring tool that you can use to help stay ahead of issues before your end users experience them. It's out of the box, ready to take a look at servers, databases, and a variety of different things to steer you and your teams towards the problematic areas before you have to, rather than wasting your time on looking for problems that aren't there. It also has self-healing capabilities that I'm excited to talk more about that can eliminate, in some cases, any need for manual involvement before resolving those issues. Naviant has put together a bundle of out-of-the-box monitoring tools based on our experience working with Reveille over the last year. We've put together about 150 or so pre-configured monitors, which are essentially tests that are happening all day, every day. They're running checks on your platform, on your servers. It's simulating the process of logging into OnBase, performing document retrieval. It's doing all the steps in those common processes and steps that can sometimes go wrong and cause a disruption to your business. And anytime Reveille does capture something that isn't operating as expected, it's sending a notification or guiding you to the problematic area, or in some cases, resolving the area itself. What's included on the server side? It's looking at app servers, web servers, processing servers, file servers, integration servers. It's looking for CPU, memory, disk space utilization. It's looking at all the things you see on the screen here and more. On the application side, it's taking a look at your Unity client performance, your web client, disk groups, growth and size, licenses, login informations, workflow, workview. You can look at brainware metrics if that's applicable to you. And so it's performing these tests all day and all night. Anytime a test fails, it's sending a notification. And these notifications are very flexible and they're very powerful because, again, this is guiding you to the problem areas. So you're not wasting time looking for things that aren't there. These notifications can be set up to look at, be sent to individual people like your OnBase administrators or your database administrators. They can also have safeguards in place so that if the initial notification isn't responded to within 5 minutes, let's say, it can escalate to a distribution group. And if that isn't responded to within 2 minutes, then you can have it escalate to an executive team. You can have different notifications sent to different people based off of use case. For example, if it's a database issue that your OnBase team can't really directly resolve but can see, you can just have Reveille automatically send that notification to the database team with the OnBase team CC'd if needed so that you can have that type of tracking. You can also integrate these notifications into your issue tracking systems if you use ServiceNow or Teams or Slack or any of those types of communication services. There's likely an out-of-the-box integration that would work with those types of tracking mechanisms. In addition to the notifications that can be sent, perhaps the single most beneficial thing about Reveille and what I'm most excited about is the self-healing capabilities. What I mean by that is not only can it notify you when there is something wrong, but if it's a formulaic, if you can create an if-then statement, if this issue, then do that, Reveille may be able to actually automatically perform that for you. It can perform automatic actions that look like commands, PowerShell scripts. You can have it automatically start or stop processes, flush DNS, reset IIS, even as far as rebooting a server. There's actually several dozen more automatic actions and more that are being developed all the time by our partners at Reveille. And we'll love to hear your feedback in the future if you think there are things that could be automated with some additional development. That grid on the right-hand side, by the way, this is actual data from our Naviant time tracking system, pulled from one specific organization that we support as a managed services provider. It's a very large, very complex organization, heavy users of OnBase, historically, there's been a lot of just systematic issues. So many so that we were spending literally an FTE's worth of time on any given week just doing routine maintenance checks, going through and making sure services were running, that servers were up, that there weren't any connection issues with the database or API calls weren't failing. We had a checklist dang near a mile long that we were going through multiple times a day just to make sure the system was up and running. Now, with the tools that we've implemented from Reveille, both these proactive actions and then also the reports and dashboards, notifications and guidance that I'll show you here in just a second, we've been able to cut the amount of time our team spends doing those routine tasks by almost 20 hours a week, which means those 20 hours that were previously just restarting services, now we're actually able to do valuable work for these organizations. We're able to, implement enhancements to work directly with the end users to optimize their solution or expand their solution and help them take that next step from good to great, which we're really excited about. The dashboards, this is a great example, I think, that shows how Reveille can guide you to where you need to focus your attention. This is one of many heat maps. I love heat maps. I'm going to have it on my tombstone. Lover of heat maps, because it saves you so much time on where you need to be focusing your attention. Every box you see on the screen here, this is a different monitor run on a different server or load balancer. This is just the server level checks, by the way. There's many other dashboards, and if I were to scroll down the list here, you would see database information and quite a few other things too. Anything that's green means that the monitors that are running on that particular server are golden. We don't need to touch those. We don't need to spend 1 second of our time looking for issues that aren't there. Anything that's yellow, or if anything were red, it helps you identify where the problematic areas. And by clicking your mouse over the area, you get additional information about what the log is saying, helps you guide there. In some cases, maybe if there's multiple monitors that are failing under the same monitor. So it helps you, again, guide your team to where the problems are. And also, with all the data that Reveille is gathering, you can pull it together in these macro level reports like an executive dashboard or a snapshot dashboard of here's what the current lay of the land is. You can see notifications sent, incidents created, the status of all monitors at a macro level. You can see all that type of information rolled up in an easy to digest format. And in addition to that, you can even see the admin level information that you might be interested in, like seeing the specific timestamps for when you have peaks on CPU or memory usage. All that type of information is available to you. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the analytical data that Reveille can provide. Now, I've been talking a lot about what it's capable of. It's probably a lot to take in. So let's talk about some common use cases that may resonate with you. Here's our first example. Pretty much every organization we work with in some capacity deals with the confusing, troublesome issue of services stopping. It happens unexpectedly, oftentimes at weird hours. It's very difficult in some cases to diagnose the root cause of this. And in some cases, we just need the services to be back up and running. This can be really impactful because if those services are keeping documents from getting into the system, that means your users can't access the documents that aren't there. It's really important that this is, that these are running stably and consistently in order to maintain that business continuity. The good news, Reveille has the ability to automatically restart services. We've developed a monitor and an automatic action that constantly reviews all of your services that are up and running, and it makes sure that they are up and running. It's running 24/7, 365, and anytime it sees a service that is expected to be running but isn't, it restarts that service for you, no interaction required. This has been so successful that we've actually built this into our Naviant bundle offering with the Naviant InsightIQ. I'll also mention, because we get this question a lot, we do have exclusion capabilities. So if there are particular services that are only supposed to run on certain days or times, or if you want to exclude your maintenance windows because you wouldn't expect services to be running between 2 and 4 a.m. on a Monday morning or something along those lines, you can build that type of logic into this capability. Use case number 2. Oh gosh, the dreaded server connectivity issues. Oh man, these keep me up at night. Literally, because oftentimes they happen after patching or after maintenance happens on your server. The teams bring the servers down, they do the magical maintenance work, they bring it back up, and all of a sudden we can't log into OnBase because of server connectivity issues. We've seen this all the time at our clients. That one client I mentioned before, that large complex client, that was happening nearly every weekend. We were getting after hours calls from their help desk saying, hey, you need to reset IIS for us because we can't connect to the server after the maintenance window. It's driving us crazy. I mean, it's in some cases it's a 15-second or 15-minute fix in a lot of cases. But when you have to plan to do that at 2 a.m. in the morning, it drives you nuts and it makes you want to pull your hair out. Well, fortunately, Reveille can now do this for us. We identified the trigger here in this particular use case was this invalid data source error notification. Reveille was seeing it every single time that this issue was happening. And so we used that then as the trigger to perform a two-part automatic action. So step one is an IIS reset. Step two is a DNS flush. Since we implemented this, we have not had any instances of after-hours calls asking us to do this after maintenance windows. And it's helped us sleep all through the night. Although I do have a 3-year-old that keeps me up all night, fortunately, I don't think Reveille is going to be able to help me in that way. All right, use case number 3. Some organizations, some of you may have specific needs for system performance metric tracking. Maybe you need to see document retrieval time, work queue refresh time, system uptime percentages, these types of information. It is available within Reveille because of the monitors and because of the metrics that it gathers all day, every day. We're able to build those into reports and dashboards that you can then report on. Here's an example of one that we set up for an organization that needed it for they were building out an SLA agreement with one of their external clients. They needed to essentially be able to track how long it takes for when somebody to log in or perform document retrieval. We were able to whip that up within their Reveille system just based off of the data that Reveille gathers natively. I should mention too, Reveille is not specific to OnBase. Believe it or not, Reveille's been around for a long time. You can see some of those trusted industry leaders' names that we all recognize. These are groups that have put trust in Reveille to help monitor other applications and other infrastructure over the years. Reveille can look at capture systems, database storage, a variety of different tools. If you are interested in learning more about other potential use cases, even outside the scope of OnBase, by all means, reach out. We would love to talk. We can connect you with our partners at Reveille. Our focus right now is specifically on OnBase because that's, of course, our bread and butter when it comes to what we support. And we want to make sure your OnBase systems are up and running. But I did want to give a shout out to Reveille and the many other services or systems that they can monitor. All right, we've talked a lot about Reveille, the software, and what it can do. Now we're going to talk about the InsightIQ offering, the service offering from Naviant, and what you can get with it if you would move forward with the Naviant InsightIQ support model. All clients, regardless of your current relationship to us, under the InsightIQ offering, you would get implementation support and ongoing assistance for the Naviant monitoring bundle, which again is 150 plus standard monitors, notifications, reports, and automatic action to restart your services. You'd get an executive and admin level dashboard. Implementation is not a significant work effort, believe it or not. We've fine-tuned what we can provide here under the InsightIQ offering to be able to get you live and monitoring your system within just a couple of weeks. You could be not monitoring as soon as at some point next month or the following month, depending on when you get started. There are some considerations to be aware of when it comes to where you want the software to live. We have an option to host the Reveille software, or if you need it on-prem. And there's some pros and cons, and there's considerations to each of those indications. So we'll need to have a conversation with you if you're ready to get started on those. In addition to the implementation support, though, we would provide quarterly leadership summary reports. We'd help you analyze your recurring issues, take a look at trends, identify areas that you should target a root cause analysis on, maybe even in some cases, help you define use cases for a new proactive action that could be custom to you, that could help you resolve a recurring issue that you run into all the time. We can help you set up key performance indicators and establish ways to monitor those. For our SLA clients, you can streamline the interaction into CST. I mean, just pause for a moment and think about the last time you had a Sev1 issue and you needed to engage our customer success team. Think about the order of events. You probably got a phone call from someone saying, hey, we can't access the system. that phone call, then you needed to reach out to maybe your database team or your network team or your Citrix team or whoever you might need to pull in to just do some initial, like, hey, is it this issue? No, is it that issue? Is it that? That slows things down. Then eventually you call into our, our Naviant hotline. You get a case created. We get on the call with you. All those things play out, and maybe it takes an hour, 2 hours. Who knows how long it takes for that whole process to get to a point where we've got Naviant engaged and working with you. Now just imagine skipping those first 12 steps that I just mentioned and having Reveille just automatically identify that Sub1 issue and snap of a finger, send a notification to our CST team, get a case created, send that same notification to your team or your escalation support team. We get everybody on a call within a matter of minutes, and we can help streamline and speed up the time frame that it takes to resolve those types of issues. Our SLA clients, we would also be willing to talk to you about professional services support. If you did have a need for custom monitors or reports or proactive actions, we'd be happy to talk to you about that. And then, of course, near and dear to me, my team, the managed services team, and the clients that we support, we are ultimately your admins. We augment or support, or in some cases, take over full administration of your team. So we would be the ones that could then address the issues identified by Reveille. And depending on the scope of your agreement with us, we may even be able to implement, new monitors, new reports, new proactive actions for you, either under the scope of our managed services agreement, or depending on what you currently have, maybe it's a future enhancement to that agreement too. So we would love to talk to you about that. I know some of you on the call or on the webinar today are already support level agreement customers of ours. So you know this already. For those of you that aren't, you can see the services that we provide under our SLA, that software support level agreement, unlimited support, discounted upgrade support, access to our on-call support, access to our Naviant Summit, all these types of things. Managed services, we are, for those organizations, we are your hands-on direct support with Naviant team members assigned to you, working to maintain and optimize and expand your ECM solution. And all of this leads up to our newest offering now, the Naviant InsightIQ offering that can help you monitor your system, platform, and performance to stay ahead of issues before your users experience them. If you are interested, if you have questions, if you have feedback, please reach out. We would love to have a conversation with you. You can reach out to your account manager. You can reach out to your client success advisor, any contacts you have. Heck, you can even reach out to me. There's my email on the screen. Again, my name is Jeff Luker. Be happy to talk to you about what this might look like for you. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great rest of your day.